What you're about to hear and listen to is an exclusive radio interview done by Bob Nicholson from the law firm Beckman Lawson in Fort Wayne, Indiana, for his radio program entitled Your Business Matters that airs on Saturday mornings on WGL Radio in Fort Wayne. Also joining Bob is Susan Imler, the marketing director for Beckman Lawson. The person they're talking to, you'll recognize as Jerry Greenfield, the co-founder of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. And now, here's Bob.
It's great to speak with, one of the undoubtedly best-known entrepreneurs in the country. And, of course, everybody looks at the company that you built and thinks that you started right there. But I have every confidence that there were a few things that went into that. And I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit of your story and how you got started and some of the things that were that led you to get into business for yourself in the first place. Why you chose to be in the food business. You've obviously had a very successful partnership with your childhood friend, which is unique in and of itself, I think. And some of the questions that I had are how many disagreements did you have over time? How did you guys learn to kind of get move on? And another really must have been a fundamental issue that you had to face at one point in time was this decision about whether to sort of stay a small local shop where you could probably still be scooping ice cream today, or sort of take the plunge and take the company to the next level. Mm-hmm. And
I'm happy to talk about all of those.
Wonderful.
Well, Ben and I are old friends from junior high school. We met when we were 13 years old. We grew up in Long Island, and we met in gym class because we were the two slowest, fattest kids in the class. We went through school together. I went to college in Ohio at Oberlin College, where I was pre-med and applied to and got rejected from, probably about 30 medical schools. Ben dropped out of several colleges, and so we were kind of failing at everything we were trying to do, and we just decided to get together and try to do something fun, and we decided to open up a homemade ice cream parlor. We chose Burlington, Vermont, because there weren't any other ice cream parlors there. We learned how to make ice cream from a $5 correspondence course. We had a very low initial investment. We opened the business with $12,000, $4,000 of which was borrowed. And we just kind of started not with the idea of becoming business people, but having a little ice cream parlor, and we thought we'd do that for a couple of years, and then we thought we'd stop and do something else together. We talked about becoming cross-country truck drivers or something like that. So for us, it was just kind of something to do. We had no idea what we were doing, and we thought we would just kind of see what happened.
Had either of you, your families, owned businesses or anything?
No, we didn't really have any business background whatsoever. We had never worked in businesses. We never took any business courses. Ben actually had been an ice cream vendor. He had driven around one of those trucks in the summer, ringing the bells, the ding-a-ling truck. Uh-huh. So he had done that for a couple of years in high school. So I guess you couldn't say we didn't have ice cream experience because Ben drove a truck.
Sure. Well, Burlington is my folks actually used to live in Burlington, and I could imagine that'd be a great place for a ice cream stand. For whatever reason, people in New England love ice cream, right?
Yeah, New England ice cream is a real tradition. As I said, there weren't any ice cream parlors in Burlington. I think it's probably because the climate is pretty cold, and so there's a short season.
Sure. Yeah,
very short.
Very short. Very short. So you start this shop, and you think it's just going to be a couple of years. And what I gather is you were the one who was actually making the ice cream. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was making the ice cream. Ben would come up with all the flavors. We were making ice cream in a 5-gallon rock salt and ice cream freezer.
Oh, so, the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way. We had it in the front window, and so we would just be making one batch at a time. And we only started to grow the business because we were trying to survive. The season was pretty short. It's a long winter in Vermont, and so during the summers, people would buy a lot of ice cream, but in the winter, which was a really long time, nobody would buy ice cream, and so we were just trying to find ways to stay in business. So we started selling ice cream to some local restaurants, then we started selling it to some mom-and-pop grocery stores. So it wasn't really the result of any kind of plan. It was more a result of just trying to get by.
Sure. Now, so in order to do that, you must have had to go out and invest in some commercial equipment.
Yeah, I think commercial equipment might be a little bit of a stretch. Our first ice cream machine after the rock salt and ice machine was a 10-gallon batch freezer. So that makes a batch of 10 gallons, every 20 minutes or a half hour. So it's still very hands-on, and you still add all the ingredients of chunks of cookies and candies and everything by hand, and you still fill everything by hand. So
but you were doing that. Is that? Were you
yeah,
doing it at this
somebody
point? Sure.
had to do it.
Sure,
Why shouldn't it be me?
Yeah, well, hey, I'm with you. I'm with you.
It was kind of one of the interesting things about Ben's and my partnership is that Ben really gravitated to the creative aspects of it. So he would create the flavors, he would do the marketing for the company, he would do the sales, and I am not really that creative, so I did all the manufacturing. I never minded doing routine things, whereas Ben can't stand to do the same thing more than once. So that worked out well. I mean, another aspect of our partnership is we both agreed that neither one of us had to do anything we didn't really want to do. So for a long time, none of the bills at the business got paid. Neither one of us wanted to pay the bill.
That's not, I've tried that before, and it has not met with success.
Well, but I mean, what's one of the benefits of having your own business, of being in business for yourself, is you can choose what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Now, there are some consequences if some things don't get done, but I think there's this general feeling that if you want to have a business, you need to do it in a very traditional way, or you need to do it in ways that everybody else does it, and that's certainly not true. There are a lot of different ways to have a successful business, and I think Ben and I always viewed our business as somewhat of an artistic representation of what we wanted to be, and so some things we were great at, and some things we weren't so good at.
So and then did you? Well, I guess I'm assuming that initially, anyway, it was pretty much just you two for the team. Maybe rounded off with some family members or something.
It was us. We had some friends and staff who would help us scoop, but an ice cream parlor doesn't take, it wasn't a large operation.
Sure.
We would make ice cream and we would scoop ice cream, and that was pretty much it. So there were the two of us full-time and probably a handful of part-time people.
Mm-hmm.